Donald Trump and J.D. Vance just got humiliated and called out by a bishop at today's Interfaith Service of Prayer for the Nation that was hosted at the National Cathedral, the same place which you'll remember just a couple weeks ago at Jimmy Carter's funeral service. All of the former presidents took their shots humiliating Trump as well by not talking to him, except for Obama, of course. I have this brutal clip coming up for you where the bishop just calls them out to their faces. You can see they are not too happy with what they are hearing. But then again, I've personally never really considered either of these men, specifically Donald Trump, men of God, despite how much he wants us to think that. I'm sure we all remember Trump talking about his self-proclaimed favorite book, the Bible, and his favorite verses from the book. The same book that he then subsequently made knockoffs of in China and sold to his MAGA sycophantic base to scam them out of more of their money.
So, more ripping on that one.
You mentioned the Bible. You've been talking about how it's your favorite book. And you said, I think last night in Iowa, some people are surprised that you say that. I'm wondering what one or two of your most favored Bible verses are and why.
I wouldn't want to get into it because to me that's very personal. When I talk about the Bible, it's very personal, so I don't want to get into verses. I don't want to get into
it. It means a lot to you that you think about or cite?
The Bible means a lot to me, but I don't want to get into specifics.
Even to cite a verse that you like?
No, I don't want to do that.
You're an Old Testament guy or a New Testament guy?
Probably equal. I think it's just an incredible, the whole Bible is an incredible, I joke very much so. They always hold up the Art of the Deal. I say my second favorite book of all time. But I just think the Bible is just something very special.
Yeah, that clip gives off the same energy as this one.
Oh, God, there's like tons I can think of that just blow me away.
It's fine if you, don't have one.
I have one. Y'all have one. I have one. I just can't remember exactly how you type it in.
And while Trump may not know the Bible as well as he knows, let's say, Mein Kampf, and the jury's honestly still out on whether the man can read or not, this was a more direct message from God, right? Something he could sit there and listen to. Though honestly, the bishop probably would have done better to write their message on the back of a Big Mac wrapper. At least Trump and Vance were forced to sit there and listen to themselves get called out by a representative of the religious community, and you can very much tell that they did not like what they were hearing. So let's take a listen to this humiliating clip and watch their embarrassing and disgusting facial responses, and then recap with some further biblical level humiliation of Trump and his devout religiosity, shall we?
Let me make one final plea, Mr. President. Millions have put their trust in you, and as you told the nation yesterday, you have felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meat packing plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues, wadara, and temples. I ask you to have mercy, Mr. President, on those in our communities whose children fear that their parents will be taken away, and that you help those who are fleeing war zones and persecution in their own lands to find compassion and welcome here. Our God teaches us that we are to be merciful to the stranger, for we were all once strangers in this land. May God grant us the strength and courage to honor the dignity of every human being, to speak the truth to one another in love, and walk humbly with each other and our God for the good of all people in this nation and the world. Amen.
Yeah, and I can tell you right now, those are the looks of two men who are thinking the exact same thing. Where the hell did we get this DEI bishop from? I mean, the facial expressions of everyone in this room as she was making that statement speaks volumes. The silence is deafening. I mean, even Tiffany Trump was making side eyes and stuff. But who am I to call out how much of a biblical idiot this guy is and how little he listened to or cared for that statement whatsoever? I'll let him do the talking for himself.
Vice President Biden, he's against God, against religion, Bible.
The Bible means a lot to me. The Bible, it is the book. It is the thing.
What's my first favorite book? The Bible. I believe in the Bible. I brought my Bible.
I brought my Bible.
I brought my Bible.
Hey, Bible. And when you're starved, you can do anything. Grab him by the pussy.
And of course, who could forget the most famous biblical Donald Trump grift of all?
Now, we've all heard the old saying, you can't judge a book by its cover, right? But in Trump's case, you can.
On the back now, I saw somewhere online, I don't know if it was their website or maybe one of the news articles about it, that said this was genuine leather, which made sense to me when I saw that it was $60, but it's not. This is not genuine leather. This is a synthetic leather. Look at that. You can even see like a crease in it. Like this one kind of got bent a little bit, and so it's kind of got a crease in it already. But this is a very kind of smooth. A lot of companies use this synthetic leather for their Bibles, but this doesn't even look like leather. It's there you see like there's another little ding in it where it's already been damaged. It doesn't have a perimeter stitch or anything like that. Honestly, it feels pretty fake and cheap.
Woo-hoo! Oh, Brother Tim nailed Trump to the cross with that one, didn't he? Fake and cheap. You'd be hard-pressed to find two words that better describes anything Trump puts his name on.
But there's no information about the copyright of the Bible itself, or what you also see on a page like that is where it was printed. A lot of Bibles like this are printed in China, and I would be shocked if Donald Trump was promoting a Bible that was printed and bound in China.
Now, you can tell old Tim here is a forgiving Christian, because he said he'd be shocked if Donald Trump was promoting a Bible printed and bound in China. Well, for the rest of us, we'd be shocked if he didn't. Now, it's clear that Trump is hiding something here. These Bibles are the Trump sneakers of the religious world. It's essentially a $10 Chinese Bible. Trump slapped his name on the side and marked it up to $60. So, is this the big mystery, T-Pain? Is the lack of publishing information the missing piece? Not even close, brothers and sisters. So pay extra close attention to this next clip and see if you can spot what's missing.
Allegiance. So what do we got? We got the lyrics to God Bless the USA. We got the Constitution. We got the Declaration of Independence. And we got the Bill of Rights. And then we've got the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, and then we've got the Statue of Liberty themed lined note paper down here.
Did you see it? Remember in our first clip that Trump said everything in this Bible is so important to him? Well, that speaks volumes right there, folks. So just to reiterate, it's got the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Pledge of Allegiance. You see it now, don't you? The Trump Bible is leaving out Amendments 11 through 27, which are just as important as 1 and 2. Trump is showing us the ultimate MAGA wet dream of rolling back all the social progress of the entire 20th century. So let's quickly refresh our memory about what Trump is leaving out in his one-stop shop of white Christian nationalism, shall we? Now, the 12th Amendment is the rules for presidential electors. The minute Trump lost the 2020 election, this is the First Amendment he sought to rip from the pages of our sacred Constitution. Amendment 13, the Slavery Amendment. Now, this one cuts at the heart of MAGA Trumpism. Now, you notice how Trump and MAGA wants reproductive rights to go back to the states? Well, slavery was the original states' rights argument. And ever since MAGA lost the first Civil War, they've been promising us the South will rise again. And this is the amendment that riles them up the most. Now, in this Trump Bible, it talks about man being his brother's keeper, and that's exactly what MAGA's after. We've heard a lot about the 14th Amendment in the news lately. And if our Supreme Court were actually the constitutional originalists they claim to be, they'd read the plain text of this amendment and strike old traitor Trump from every ballot in the land. MAGA's 24/7 fight for election integrity ain't nothing but a veiled attack on the 15th Amendment, which assures people of color the same rights to vote as everyone else. GOP state legislatures are passing laws every day to make it harder for folks of color to vote. It's white rule's way of repealing this amendment without convening a legitimate constitutional convention. Seriously, T-Pain, MAGA wants to get rid of women's right to vote? Don't believe T-Pain. Believe this little feller.
Will women have the right to vote tomorrow if you wave that magic Christian wand?
No.
Okay, why not? I want to get into why not. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Because if we had a Christian nation tomorrow and women did have the right to vote, we would not have a Christian nation within 50 years.
So there you have it. How do you say you're a tyrant without saying you're a tyrant? Just like this. Chalk this up as a massive sin of omission, folks. So listen up. MAGA keeps telling us exactly who they are again and again. And you know what we should do? We should believe them. T-Pain out.